Тинкера со старта это вдвойне приятно. Сам герой, он мерзопакостный. А еще и когда разгон такой получает, ну вообще замечательно. Кстати, до сих пор не может этот Топсон разбить. Он не попадает на ХГ. Забавный момент, очень хотелось бы, но то есть разбить же хочется так, чтобы не задинайл соперник. Тебе надо отогнать прям соперника от этого варда. А nothing to say, посмотри, он стоит, он все понимает и динает. Господи, о, как это круто.
Да можно было и потерпеть, в принципе.
Да, наверное, можно было. Но все равно это очень красиво. Это всегда интересно понаблюдать, эти битвы за варды. Тут мешает отводу, хотя уже он состоялся, ладно. Не очень мешает, пытается, видимо, сам. Видишь, рейнджевого, да, только рейнджевого отвел. Тоже неплохо рейнджевого с линии убрать. Я думаю, диджей таким исходом вполне себе доволен. Снова... Что?
Что? Умер. Ну, на волоске. Размены. Вот, а если бы Шторм здесь убил Тинкера, он бы камбэкнулся. Он пошел в бам.
Это ж вообще катастрофа.
У него ТПшка в КД сейчас будет, интересно. Ну, 15 сек.
Да, но 4-я минута, Тинкер пойдет, заберет руну воды. Ладно, тут выбегает хотя бы Джабс подконтролить, но в целом это же очень печальная ситуация.
Печально.
То есть он почти 6-й, ему сейчас вообще плевать будет, он может просто на базу там с ТП условно вернуться. Ему даже эта руна не нужна. Он просто прокачивает 6-й, улетает на базу, возвращается. Да, это затребует немножко времени, но эпично. А вот как Шторму здесь, ну, он хорошо камбэкает, этот герой, безусловно. Там, благодаря фарму с ремнанта, с пассивкой, он камбэкает нормально, лес бьет быстро. Но сам Тинкер уже разогнался.
Смотри, а пошел он в лес, а там Сентряк стоит на споте. Вот так вот и камбэкает парень.
Ну,
опа, зато 2 баунти.
Неприятно. Сверху у нас драка какая-то тоже начинается. Пошел драться Титан, сразу получил по голове от Слардара, еще баш один. И Ксенкю погибает. Чего хотел, спрашивает Дес вместе с Джабсом. Ксенкю.
Guardian sprint until much later, so he can actually like get a lot of points of Bash the Deep, doubles the damage between level 1 and 2, and he's still slithering crush. Plus he's got extra mana, so he can just crush all the time. It's a very strong dual lane, honestly. Farm quite fast right now as Slardar on creeps to get double the Bash damage. Puts you in a good place, but with that said, Terrorblade's still last hitting great. 31 and 10. Slaughter's down at 23. So pretty safe to say that LGD is getting more gold out of their lanes.
Talked about the idea that you want this Terrorblade not to, because the Gyrocopter is quite powerful. Hold that thought. Why? Goes, he throws the cage out, but he's taking a lot of damage here.
Jay threat TPing, didn't have mana, but he got him spooked. Is this missile gonna? Will.
Ooh.
Oh, they put the ward behind the tower for this reason. That's insane. He knows about it now. That was really costly, actually. Now, Y is gonna move over to put the sentry down, trying to find it.
Going right back in again. Another missile, but again, they have that bounty rune. And DJ grabbing his own regen rune.
And the sentry is also to deward the small camp. So when he placed the observer ward, he also blocked the small camp. So a lot of stuff slowing him down here, but tries to get there to steal the bounty rune to limit his catch up here so that he can jungle, but and that's gonna be great for Fnatic.
Aggression in this top lane. They're chasing after Shinkyu again. Dashes plenty here. Just running down. The man Jabs is really hammering home those high fives. This is yet another kill for Jabs. Jabs is 3-0 and 1 right now. How often do you see this IO?
Good for him. That's all I gotta say. It's more kills than he's supposed to have, certainly, but this is their lack of disables. It's a failing in their lineup, kind of similar to like the damage issues that they had last game. It provides them a weakness. It doesn't mean that is bad necessarily, but this is something that they should exploit on Fnatic right now. They have to pressure this lane. They force the carry out. It's a TB. He doesn't care much. But as long as they keep killing Jinkyu, at least it doesn't let Jinkyu get levels to catch up. But they're gonna die from top.
They are starting this, and you are just debating
Dude,
us
they were going
every time.
They were running
oh my god,
they
he's
were
taking
running at
damage. JJ, quick, go look, and he's just like, yep, he took damage, Purge, he's not dead yet.
Tinker was like half HP, he was amp damage, he had no mana, and they're sprinting at him with Slaughter like, come on, that looked like a dive. It looked like a dive.
It looks like one, but
Jabs
it
agrees
wasn't
with
one.
me, I think. And they're gonna get up fully locked so fast, actually. He's like 800 gold away from it. It's at 7 minutes. It's not going to be long. Like, gotta be ready.
Bottom lane, they're going to try to go into the fight to end jumping forward. Oh my goodness, the damage though that came out from FaZe PX. Take that, DJ.
most IOs just do tether and overcharge as their combo. But I mean, if you're pairing, normally you pair with like your hard carry and you sit with them a lot and you're giving them attack speed and regen and stuff. That doesn't necessarily need that as a starter in the lane. So instead, if he just
Oh, he cancels the TP. He knows. He's like, maybe I can survive this. No, you can't survive nothing. You just
unfortunate. I don't think he knew Jinku was there, but basically Jabs is able to do a lot more damage in ganks. It's not, he's not like the IO pairing. They picked IO and it's still gonna be good, but like right now, just having more damage is gonna be more effective. It's helping him because he's almost got his holy lock. 500 gold left to go.
Top tower is under attack.
To know if that's a new record. Yeah.
Yeah.
Out, touch one.
Over here now.
That big zip, so they're not going to be able to quite close the gap, but they have the vision, like we said, so Little Rocket's going to dodge it.
He needed to do that. He's just taking too much.
Hard. A lot of burst.
It's just, it's not that much. Doesn't much for nothing to save like 2 rocket. Be back home. This Blink Dagger, he's 4-0. He's doing great right now. He also got Fairy Trinket, the glory I obtained to be able to. This man will go so much farther as a result. Now he just shows up where he needs to be. Faith Beyond, going a bit of a different build. Helm of the Dominator on Magnus. Not the most common, but it's going to make it easier for him to pressure towers, to spot enemy heroes, that kind of thing. Terrible. Just a generic good item for a lot of offlane heroes.
I am concerned. When I look at Death and Tabs up there, we're going to have the, I believe the Hood of Defiance was just and then you have a Holy Locket. They're just going to become a menace all over the map. Although, oh, Fabian was looking for it. Couldn't quite grab him in time.
I guess that's one downside of LGD is that before Terrorblade gets on the map, they do not have a good power pusher. And this might be one reason that Magnus wants to be Helm of the Overlord. Like, Magnus is okay, or Dominator, sorry, because he kills creepways fine, but having the Hellbear Smasher just amplifies everything so much. Attack speed, that kind of thing. So it's going to make it easier for them to kill towers and scout heroes and that kind of thing.
Tower has fallen.
Cool. It's even. Little advantage for the PSG LGD cores, but the IO support's doing really good on the Fnatic side, so in some ways a little better.
Objective of
Radiant's bottom tower
Fnatic
is under attack.
trying to get in position. Put these creeps away.
Smart to do it with this.
See?
Yes. That's what it's all about. Gotta keep them away from where the and get the last hit. Gonna and then you go back to doing what you're doing.
Radiant's middle
Jump.
tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Finding this opening. So they're going to mid lane. You can see why he's waiting. He's cheeky. He's saying, "Oh, come on, guys, please." You know.
All right, lock it away. Probably not good. Some people have been playing IO3 lately, so somebody gets last hit. More farmed at the point of Jabs, most likely. But for support, it's really excellent. And that's going to make it easier for Jabs to play just really aggressive top, and Jabs doesn't, or for Death to play aggressive top, and Jabs doesn't necessarily even have to show. He can just be in the area, so it's going to make it a little bit more unpredictable for PSG LGD on who to engage on.
Play over on the side of Fnatic.
Are scanning.
Let's go play on the side of PSG LGD too. Four of them roll on forward. That defense matrix is ridiculous. Look, nothing to die in Ham's brawl.
They want to kill Terrorblade with the smoke. Storm, and we've got the roll. They're going to give up on it.
They'll find themselves Jabs over here.
Oh, yeah.
Go right back with this, and that's his dominating streak.
That part's good. That's a lot of gold dominating. The one downside of doing really good on support, it's like you're probably going to die eventually, and now you just gave extra gold to the enemy mid player.
Radiant's middle tower
Yeah,
is
so I'm
under
doing it to
attack.
Tinker.
Yeah, kind of scary. And with that dead, now whoever was going to tank the mid tower isn't going to be able to be saved. It's a rough one to use the IO there. Hey, Death, despite buying that hood, is almost got his Blink Dagger now, so his net worth has been the person suffering the most. Well, certainly Storm Spirit. That early lane pressure, that gank by Disruptor that did a lot.
I'm over here.
The meta bottom, but Storm is out. It's probably just that Ami is planning to use it anyways to farm, and if Storm's here, he might as well put some on. Because if he loses all of his illusions with damaging so much, then makes it like he could potentially dive somebody. Just a little safer.
Radiant's
Mine
middle
too. He's
tower
right around
is under attack.
a lot of it's gonna go
Yep.
from years, you know, it might have been sorry. Yeah, I mean we do have a blink now. For the start.
Done. So with
Coming
this,
out right now.
be a little bit easier to be aggressive now. What does he need? Gyro's going for the flat cannon stat build with health talent. So you can go flat cannon, main, pretty common. Oh, head up. This is going to be rock the damage output, but really the Gyro goes just kind of suffers. Like he's gonna.
Even you have so many friends here to welcome. They go for the split, not quite on mark, but actually caught by some time. Yeah.
He just got red.
Go back in on nothing
see
to
him?
say.
They don't see him.
Don't know, will they see him now? They will just go after this Tinker. I'm surprised that, oh no, it is. Never mind. I was like, I'm surprised that it wasn't Jessica. I didn't hear the song right away.
He's just holding it and he's too excited. Oh, what a nice kill. You go back towards the mid lane with that, so that's gonna get him even closer to Max. Look at that gank on Raven.
That's so too. Top lane getting chased by Faithian. They get the sleep off. They've got the stomp on the Centaur. Maybe? No, they're gonna back off. It's not worth their time.
This is the nice thing, again, about being tanky as an offlaner. Very similar to what he did last game. He just wants to play aggressive, wants his opponents to fight into it. Once he's balancing the risk decently well, the eye open, it just forces a lot of rotations. But with that said, terrible performance that he did. Played 1-0, so one time in the laning state, but he saved creep so effectively. He really nothing. Because he just up against Gyro later on in the I think this is me right.
I think it's
Radiant's
from
bottom tower is under attack.
Realizing it's having all this space to be able to get Ame, get what he haven't shut him down like that last time. They really haven't bothered him hardly at all. You saw one little engagement, like other than the laning stage, one engagement which when shows up, but immediately is kind of like maybe no, ends up just disappearing again.
It's just tough because you basically have to take like DJ as Pango with Rolling Thunder, and then you need like one or two other cores to kill. It's not super reliable. He's probably gonna get Sunder off with your heroes. If you had like a Fiend's Grip with somebody that does a lot of damage, then yeah, maybe it only takes 2 heroes. But the fact that it takes like 2 to 3, 2 of them have to be cores means that a lot of resources to go smoke all the way to the enemy jungle and try to kill him. If he's not where you expect him to be, or the gank fails, like you get really far behind, and that's way more of a detriment than just playing Red Farm fast.
Hello, DJ. Right back in again into the pain cage, and there's a good coming out here from Gwen. For this engagement, call down, followed with the RP. So this blow up Gwen, the blow up Y. They've got a Terror Blade here, Chaz again. He's getting all these kills, but it's not looking good for him because the rest of the team just chasing after Jabs will be able to find the kill and nothing to say.
Tough one. He must have tethered in to try to save Storm Spirit there, but unfortunately for him, yeah, 8 to 20 stick block it, so unfortunately for him, no tether afterwards. One. But they get 1 kill at least, but nice little skirmish
Radiant's
there for
middle tower
PSG.
is under attack.
Love to go in, but gonna have enough to use the replay once again. Jumps in, RP catches him, that's Storm dying. There's the tether on the, that's what happened. He had to run south instead of northwest with the gyro, so he's forced to break tether basically at that point. Got a little separated. It happens. Raven's got his eggs on the way now with the Crystallis, so most efficient build possible basically for the raw damage per gold. The Ags, he's going to attack twice as fast, and present a pretty threat for every team fight after that. That's one nice thing, is that Fnatic is going to have like 3 pretty strong cores. Storm is still a bit behind, but he's always a threat because of his mobility and it's able. I feel like the team fight composition looks good for Fnatic, but PSG LGD is still an advantage with that go to +1 probability, so that's what it's telling us.
81%. Going for the Roche play here. Sitting on the outside trying to keep vision. They do have that creep, so they'll know that they're in the pit.
But they don't want them to know how high the HP is, and now it's going to reveal it. That lets them know how desperately they need to run in the pit, basically.
Very scary when you have an Elder Titan on the enemy.
Radiant's bottom
Easy.
tower
get that Aegis to go and interrupt, set up anything here. There's a double damage available outside the pit as well.
They don't feel
Good. Jumping forward.
which makes sense because if they do play in this area, look at the vision right now coming up in act. They have 2 clip wards directly around the Roche pit. Like, imagine Tinker trying to play into this. He blinks and starts rearming one time, slightly close to Roche, and they're like, kill the Tinker. They all jump on and kill him, basically. So fighting in this pit is just not very safe right now, and it was just safer for Ame to keep hitting creep. So they get an Aegis. It's going to buy Fnatic more time. It certainly gives them a better chance of winning, but eventually PSG LG is going to take a fight.
Woke up and they're all grouped very tightly together over on the side of Fnatic. They find their opening though. They go over the RP. They should be able to take down Y, and they're looking to go for anything else. Rolling Thunder just making chaos. They just taking too much damage, but over on the back line, nothing to say. He's sitting very, very low. The Rolling Kid just goes right on in and kills him. And now it's looking a little scary here for Ame. Death jumping back in. He knows his limits. Goes for the Thunder play. The zip forward though coming out for Twins. They'll pop that Monta style. Gotta be satisfied with that.
Is under attack.
That was great for Fnatic, though. Got to force the fight. It looked a little dangerous. I thought the RP was going to catch the Storm because it was like the same time he jumped in, but Storm had balled, I think, a little bit farther, and it ended up only being Slardar getting caught in that RP, and as a result, it gave Fnatic the opening to take the fight, whereas otherwise, it would have been probably Storm dying and maybe Death also dying in engagement. So they got PSG LGD to engage. They thought it was a good one, but the mind games for Storm, you just fall farther than they expect you to, and then you miss that big team fight.
We'll have the Aegis online here for the gyro copter. You can bet that Fnatic probably, especially now that they have this Blink Dagger picked up on the Pangolier, probably looking for the opportunity now to make some moves, push out a lane, get a pick off, and maybe start to crack that base.
It's definitely what they're aiming for, or control tier 2s, that kind of thing. Restrict farm that Ame has access to. It's not going to be perfect because it's pretty easy for Terrorblade to always just push out lanes safely with his conjure images, but getting when you only have to deal with like 1 or 2 of these things and you have pretty strong cores that have lots of single target damage, similar to like Slardar or Gyrocopter in this example, they should be fine. And in this case, even burning a relocate here to deal with this split push, because it's just not worth teleporting here and then not being able to play the rest of the map. Fortunately, it looks like they're only going to get 1 creep wave here rather than 2, but hey, it still makes a little bit of effort.
There's another creep wave right there at there.
I know. Oh, at the top lane.
Ready.
You're so right.
Either way, this man is hitting creeps.
He is, and his net worth is actually approaching the Terrorblades now. Tags, all these stats are almost maxed out. He's going to be forced to level his other abilities.
Death. Beyond finding him though immediately, pushes him very far back. Rest of the team's like, okay, yeah, you're a little bit too far, Death. It was nice knowing you. We'll catch up to the side.
That's a cool way to do it. That's still playing his job, but if the guy that's playing between 2 teams gets Sewerdy closer to your team, it's like now you're way out of position. We just want a little out of position, you know. Rape didn't even fall on the bot wave. He just wants to finish the beat here safely. He's about getting dive. Map aggressively. Now he's running for safety. So once they get beat Raven, who should have it now, and then Death, that is when Fnatic's super ready to take fights on.
Radiant's top tower.
They're just gonna backdoor it. I love doing this. If you feel like the positioning's good, it's like just kill the damn tower, screw pushing the wave.
Not backdoor tech.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Okay, ooh, a little bit too fast here for Fabian. He wanted that grab
TP's
on
really
Twins.
long.
They find it.
He's screwed.
They see him. They have the glimpse right into the static storm. Try to keep him silenced, but he is able to walk away. He's got a bit of a sense. They have it. He just says nope, 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 nope. A little bit more nope. Walks into one of these illusions.
Almost screwed. He was being efficient. That's a.
Oh, they're breaking out into a fight though. Death seeing this opening, jumping immediately over onto Y. He's going to be able to obliterate him. As the rest of PSG, no DJ's there. They have the relocate. They're coming on in here with a Raven with jabs. Trying to go and grab Ame. They missed the splitter. DJ though right on target. Death following up with these hits. Fabian over on the side was looking possibly to go in there, but there it is. There it is. Beautiful. They just burst out. Death still turned their attention to Raven. Raven doesn't have anyone to help him out. Couple more hits should be able to do the trick. And yes, that's going to be the Aegis. Ame backing off a little bit here. Has Fabian at the ready. DJ trying to make some hang-outs over on the side of Raven. They just all love. There's no one here to help with the Io. Was trying so hard. This is not looking great for him. As over on the side corner here, DJ, he's just sitting patiently. They've got the vision. They'll take down Jabs and GJ. Is he going to make it out? They have vision. They could potentially get over there. Don't quite manage to land the stomp. Is he gonna be lucky? Be lucky, Purge? Is he? Is he?
Ooh, they're looking.
No, he's not. It's a double kill for Fabian.
Really nice done by LGD there. The crucial stuff, they basically killed Death on the front line, and then it became a little bit easier to deal with the fight. It looked like a good moment for Fnatic. Like, the Rolling Thunder interrupted the TP for Ame, so they knew he can't get out. Like, you just gotta get the kill somehow. But the problem was that, I mean, they even popped BKB on Gyrocopter, so like he took less damage during the RP, but the Terrorblade DPS was just too high at that point. So he committed to the attacking, but it's like the illusions hate everything. He's got 32 armor, so the raw physical damage that Gyro's outputting really did not. And then I was ready to like tether heal him to try to keep him alive during the respawn. But the moment he came back, he gets skewered away, which means Io's position, formerly good, was now 2-4, so that's why he got there too late. So just LGD playing that team fight perfectly, but once again, Fnatic getting a little too excited and thinking they had a moment to punish LGD and catch up.
Take a look at any items that are potentially going to be headed out for these two. Next big move, what would you say is the next big thing? Oh, I mean, there it is. There's the baby out there. Like, never mind, Purge, I don't need you.
The BKB is really effective. The main thing is that it's going to make sure that Rolling Thunder is not a problem, because Rolling Thunder is the thing that's going to like keep Terrorblade busy. Now he's got BKB, he can basically offset Rolling Thunder with his own BKB. Before, like outside of Rolling Thunder, he wasn't really that concerned with disables anyways. He's got Manta for the Orchid on Storm, and past that, it's like, yes, Lar's got some stuns, but it's not going to permanently pursue. Basically, always going to stun him. So he's really happy right now. He's very safe, and this is a really good time for LGD to fight, assuming they can land the right disables.
Definitely blood in the water. DJ, though, of course. Oh, Spirit
Right
though.
on him.
The Spirit might goes for the stomp.
He could see the Spirit. They knew where he was somehow. Spirit gave a little bit of vision there. Got the damage. Boy, oh.
He's gonna walk right into Shinkyu if he's not careful
He
here.
just wants to cut the creep wave, but instead he's gonna go for the safe. Don't want to get caught. Yeah, he doesn't have buybacks, so gotta be careful. You know, if he's dead, that gives him 5 seconds. Really pressured here.
Radiant's
But
top tower
where do we go
is
next on
under
Gyro
attack.
is the question. He was thinking about getting a different item. Oh, he's thinking SNY, but I was like, that doesn't sound. He has a way to deal with the illusions or to remain survivable, and Satanic's a good way. He'll get lifesteal even if he's stunned. The downside is they've already got the Scotty, so that lifesteal is going to be... So it just feels like bad decisions to me, or bad options to me. And that's just because of the matchup. The Gyro Terrorblade doesn't sound too fun, I guess.
Radiant's
Hard,
top tower is
definitely
under
hard.
Radiant's
They
top
did just
tower
pick
is
up
falling.
the Stormspirit BKB though,
Dire's
so
bottom tower
another
has
advantage
fallen.
to go for Fnatic. But again, we have the Terrorblade, mostly for the Rolling Thunder, obviously, but
Yep.
also it's going to be very difficult for Swen to do anything when that is up. I think his target though probably going to be that Tinker trying to get a little back lines, and with that BKB, it means that the Disruptor's not going to be able to glimpse it back right where he is.
Yeah. And the farm level of the Tinker is kind of fallen off in the last couple fights, but that's what happens when you go Ags. It doesn't give you much more damage. It helps against heroes, but against creeps not much. Oh, the Scare back? No, he's BKBs. I mean, he had to do that. If he gets Horn Toss, it basically forces Io to relocate, and I don't know how soon he used Tether, but if he didn't have Tether there, that's like, good luck, Raven. You're in the middle of nowhere. He BKB'd like mid Horn Toss. I don't know you could do that, but normally you get Horn Toss, you toss in the air, and then you're stunned when you hit the... But I guess it gives you time to press BKB. That's Raven, great reaction times. But can't react now until his BKB comes back. He's down to 7 seconds.
This is a huge window right now for PSGLTD. They realize, okay, Gyro does not have that BKB. We can make plays. We've got our own fresh BKB over on Ame. Let's make some things happen.
Radiant's
Good.
middle
So,
tower has
doing
fallen.
play here, making sure they're cutting these creeps. Doing the great creep wave. And that one little guy. Look at him. MVP of his team. Making his way down this lane. Going to give his life for PSG LGD.
Radiant's structure
Good, good minion.
A lot of damage here. Got a power. But
Rolling on in here from DJ, bouncing up against the wall, forcing him forward. This is going to just be a...
they got him. They
Oh,
changed.
hold on one sec. We're not quite done here. Yeah, the BKB coming out from Twitch. Gonna start to put more damage out over on the side. They'll be able to take that Q. They get the crush off, and there is a dead disruptor lying on the ground.
They were not expecting to be able to pick him off all the way there. And somebody force staff him too.
Who's force staff with them? That was my
I think it was
question.
a dire one. Because I think it might have been Magnus or somebody. It was Magnus or Disruptor. Somebody forced him. I don't know if it mattered, but I assume that one because it put him. Well, maybe that wasn't the biggest steal. The thing that hurt him a little bit, he has no status resistance right now because they don't have the best. But it did work. It definitely worked.
Definitely worked. I mean, he's right against the wall.
Yeah, they went from full to low, and they actually get the shard to Io, which I have not seen before. It does a stun on the tether. It deals damage the first time you touch it, and it increases your burst speed bonus by 10%. So it's going to make this carry gyro feel a lot safer. Like there's extra 30 movement speed, basically.
Edie boy, I miss the days of Io Tether being able to stun. I miss that. I miss the days of Io Tiny in the mid lane. You find yourself with 6-9 and he's like, oh dear, Fabian.
He missed.
Gets dragged right back in, but the rest of the team, they're gonna follow up. This is not looking good. They have that rolling right on through. This is not looking good for Magnus. Taking up one, he wants something, but no, he is going to fall.
For the relocate, this could be dangerous. Raven, BKBs.
Raven, BKBing almost immediately. They do have the Earth Splitter. He's gonna try to put out some of the damage again. Jabs though, jabs. They're gonna try to TP out Raven. He's able to get out.
That was really close, actually. The BKB ended like the same time the teleport ended, but he might have been able to cast Glimpse before he went out. It was like...
You have to be so precise.
That was really precise and a huge moment for Fnatic after killing Ame in the mid lane, which felt like, oh, we're going to get Raxed here. I really thought that Rax was going to go away. They kill Ame, then they miss the RP, get that kill, and then save him too.
They see themselves a disruptor, they BKB, they just want to get the UI off the map, and they'll be able to do it.
So he's got a BKB for it, but that does give them more map control. Don't have to worry about him. And as a result, the going for kills on the other side of the map will feel easier. I think has Hex finish just flying it out. That'll be great. Oh, they get a catch top actually. Finds Jin-Q jumping in for it with the Orchid. Scores that kill.
So strong, guys. I'm so strong.
He's hoping to find somebody that was hanging around, and he gets him. Maybe looking for Tinker, but hey, he'll take a kill.
The kill.
The build that Jin-Q went actually went for a Veil this game. Tranquil Boots, a Veil, Plate, or Lotus Orb. So didn't get that defensive item I talked about earlier. That's one of the reasons it's pretty darn easy for Storm to kill him. Orchid, normal Storm stuff, you gotta kill. Satanic's finished now, and now he's queuing up Scotty on Gyrocopter. Same solution that it provides against TV. You're gonna limit his healing. They're both going Satanic. The item's looking pretty similar, but yeah, Gyro's gonna love all the stats, the extra HP, the slow, all that stuff will be really Elven Tunic, Paladin Sword, that's a hard one actually. Paladin Sword's pretty much always what you grab, and he's getting hit, but
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
attack speed ain't bad either.
You really can't go wrong with either one.
Yeah, but Paladin Sword, you
Radiant's bottom
gotta take it. You gotta take it. The life steal you get is just too good.
Tower is chipped away here by Raven and Jabs together. Another smoke coming out from the side of Fnatic.
Yep, well, whoever they find, the relocates are coming. Unless it's Raven TPing bottom to save his tower, they might dive on him in this exact moment. If they went right now and killed him, they could actually own. But
Look
look
at
what's
this
gonna
Ame, very
happen.
flexible. Scarab Blade throwing out the start twinge and big off. Able to get the first, but there's gonna be three right and pop that BKB. There's another fight though. We can get that of that fresh new sheet and it's a dead DJ.
Just great positioning for LGD in that moment. If they were reading that engagement, what they were expecting was that smoke. That was the right people to engage on. If they go on Gyrocopter, he gets relocated out, for example. So they stand high ground. Death had to jump in like that. Smoke's breaking when you're running high ground. He goes for the stun. He doesn't catch anybody. He loses 80% of his HP. That fight's basically over already because they spent so many resources just like forcing a bad initiation. So not really Fnatic's fault there, and them only losing one hero is pretty good considering.
Very half a second there when approaching. But again, when you're standing on the high ground, you have a little more of an assurance. Definitely, if you had just been a little bit closer on that could have turned so different. He'll find himself someone else, though. It is Vickiano. Run away. Raven joining in. He's got that little extra burst. You have to be careful, though, because they've got the illusions going right back. They have the hex as well along the way. Just going to fight some of these Earth Splitters. Not too concerned about them. Hoping that something's going to be back here. But no, PSGLGD, they realize this guy is scary when he's able to move around and get these heads off. Spice Courier, though, doesn't by DJ.
Pick off. Couriers at this phase is a lot of gold for your whole team. Gives you up quite a bit. Ooh, IO, the extra farm jab 7, 3, and 7. You don't see this often, but he's trying to buy a heart. And if he gets that, he's putting a lot of heal into his allies. And again, it's going to be a bit by your Scotties or whatever, but it's going to be just like killing the IO himself is going to feel bad.
Go push them. Wave here. I'm right back in again.
Doubt he's going to be able to get 2 waves. I'll be right back. Just got to hang out near him.
Lane.
Silver Edge on Gyro. Very weird. He basically upgraded his, I mean, he had the Crystallis all game, basically, so... will allow him to, like, escape dangerous moments. It's like, it's kind of cool to buy invis here, invis items on heroes that aren't supposed to invis normally. I'm like, wait, what? Just invis? So, yeah, Shadow Blade plus that.
Radiant's middle tower.
He could, like, find backline heroes better, that kind of thing. Gage. Tinker, he could survive, you know, juke into a tree, go invis. Is Tinker gonna have a dust? Probably not. He needs all his item slots, you know. So things like that could be really helpful to give him a second BKB effectively.
I'm curious, what's the win percentage?
Better.
Alright.
It's a lot better. Experience advantage jumps a lot towards Fnatic here.
Is under attack.
Yeah, it's definitely improved, because as the game goes on, Gyro gets more and more strong. It's just like an overpowered hero, because Axe gives you, like, technically 2 attacks, so...
Technically, Purge, every hero gets stronger, isn't it?
I completely disagree from him. Some heroes have stronger combination late in the game. Blade, obviously, very fantastic in almost all phases, but this double attack thing, you know, Rapier's effectively busted on Gyro, especially with Black Cannon, for example, because Black Cannon is attacking all heroes at the same time 6 times. That's really strong. JK, more than that. Ame looking for a kill here. He's got an Alpha Wolf, too.
Definitely hunting, hoping somebody makes the way with DJ, though. Again, he's usually the first person to go up on the high ground. Person that doesn't have it. With the rolling thunder going on through the jump right past Ame. Brendo finding over on the back line. He's going to try to just take down this Elder Titan.
Tanky.
Death over on the side. Q, he stays alive for a decent amount, but DJ also now falling. The BKB being on the front now. Uh-oh, this is not good. Nothing to say. Has found himself the first here. And this little piggy's going home in a bag.
Took a lot of mana to kill Jin Q there. That extra armor he had, the Lotus Orb. It's got pretty good HP. Oh, jab. Did he relocate? He just used it 20 seconds.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
must have been something like this.
Popped out.
They Titan slivered on the gyrocopter, and they put the sword over for the eye, which makes more healing, lifesteal, all that stuff can help if he's alive.
Radiant's bottom
that part's important. This is
Look at nothing to say. Look at this position.
good.
Coming forward. Immediately up an RP. They just absolutely close it. Upgraded to follow up over on the side. And this is not looking good enough for the 30 goal next to these guys. Everything they take that line. The buybacks are coming out of that. The BKBs are coming up with 2 things. They'll over onto white. They'll find more on Faith Beyond as the rest of PSG LGD forced to run away.
Man, pro players make buybacks look scary, I gotta say. They know there's a ward there. That initiation was like too perfect. They get it. So that's gonna buy them time. And there's also a buyback on Tinker, so it's not terrible for Fnatic at all. Looked real rough at first. Watch this RP, they throw him in. Those guys are dead instantly. Storm jumps in, but great ulti from Y. He was ready for that. He knows he's the target. No BKB yet for Storm, so he dies guaranteed. And then I thought things looked bad, but Death's stun hitting 3 people was a monster with the flak. And, oh, he's got Shard on Sardar, that's why. So he applied his ulti on 3 heroes, that's why he did so much damage. And the Black Cannon is doing AoE as well. It's like insane.
Bye-bye.
That's such a cool combo. Slar Shard with Black Cannon.
Good. He had a gem on him, too? Gem. Oh. Surprise gem. That's kind of
Sure. Okay. Oh,
it's exciting because you get a kill and then all of a sudden, oh. Like when the girl I think regular.
Or like when you buy fries and there's 1 curly fry in it.
That's literally what I'm saying. Did I just say that, JJ? Am I crazy? Okay.
Yeah? Okay. No, I just, Just wording. I'm very picky about my wording. That's all. Very picky about my wording. You know, really what you said could have been slightly more clear. That's basically my job. Clear as possible every time.
It wasn't as efficient. I'm sorry.
Exactly. That's what I got. I gotta shut it down.
Big bucks.
Still excited about the Slar. So cool.
Yes, Berg speaks better than me right now. The Slar star.
It's minus 24 AoE armor for like what 5 seconds or something, and increases the radius. So the stun is just like, it's like actually a team fight stun instead of like you stun one guy. Ooh.
They're trying to make a play over on nothing to say, but he's already blinked out. Oh, he's very close there. Yep. You know what I mean? They do have this going on in the pit. You've got DJ though. You've got this rolling thunder that could potentially be very, very dangerous for him. He's considering it. He's trying to figure out the time to go. Shall I go in? Goes and starts to disrupt a little bit. Oh my god! Never mind! He is just super dead. Gonna have to buy back. They BKB'd already over on Ame.
Oh, they're scared. They could have taken it. They absolutely could have taken it, but they're scared. That suicide by DJ, absolutely worth it with consideration. They called down as well for vision. That's all they can do. It's got 1600 health, but LGD's scared. If they lose this fight, it could just be game end.
Death jumping in immediately. Oh, the RP getting used only on Death. They pop the A on Death and that BKB. Lots of damage coming out from Ame. Look at the clone Death. No buyback on
They're going to go for it.
The pit though, are they going to be able to get in time? Who's going to get the vision?
The stun?
And get this.
That's it.
Coming right back. Look at all these people flying around. And a Pyro arrives again, but they cannot come alive with the ace from the PSG LGD. There is no buyback though over on this. A little scary.
Yeah, right now they're back going. It seems like they're not going to be making it back. They're still on buyback. I mean, he got almost everything on the gyro and he cleared the support. Good, but again, fighting into the Terrorblade is really difficult. He needs his teammates, and the angle was just bad. I don't see why they don't just go for tier 4s. They should clearly, but they're thinking about it. They go 1 racks. Let's see if they go tier 4s or they get 2 racks.
They should know. Yeah, they're going. They're going for it. Ame says, let's go hit these towers. There's no gyro. There is no Flardar available.
This is so hard.
What do you do?
Not that farm. You gotta kill the supports first and then maybe work down the other guys, but it's hard.
And there's a vortex, buys a little bit more time. Beautiful roll forward, though, hitting over onto 2. They get the silence as well. They're gonna be able to get everything down Ame. There's gonna be the Hex again. They'll be able to find Xuen.
Oh
no, he's just gone a little bit too far here. Jab, they're still right in position where they can still hit these buildings. And they do not have Ame here. Tinker coming in, Jabs is doing everything he can rather. And they are just holding him in place. They're beating the tower. They even just kind of ignore him a little bit. They're like, we have buildings to be in. We have an illusion here. We'll bring him right back in again. They're not going to let him out. There he goes. Down goes DJ, and down is going this ancient baby.
Instantly glimpse some backs, and they're hitting it. They don't have glyph, and they call it okay.
GG.
But surely it's over.
Oh
For a brief moment there, I really thought they might be able to do it when they killed the Terrorblade, because I was like, TV5, like how could they ever get a kill on this on like anybody? But the fact that it was TV, that combo was great. Ball in, group them up with the Ags on.
Help, but it's also, as you said, these tools to keep you in that perfect position. And you're the hardest carry by far in this game, but you don't have to itemize for anything like an MKB or a Daedalus. You just need to ensure that you can stand still.
Recently happened that we don't really talk about too much, but this last patch 7.3.0 where this Venge came into play, it gave you damage on the swap.
Wait, guys, wait. Hello?
They really
क्या सीन है boys? इस गेम के बाद है क्या
Were two
TI
minds
वो
there. They wanted to go on the
Hola.
IO gyrocopter, but it looks like they left Nisha behind. The relocate is going to take them back where they came from, which means Tavo's alone. I'm not sure what happened.
I have no idea. I looked up and I'm like, wait, Nisha is under the tier 2. What is he doing there? But oh, okie dokie. Poor Tavo. This is the trouble with Sand King, right? There's not even a carry. He's just getting amped and he just gets obliterated. Yapsor's right-click damage is nuts. It's just a little shredded.
Yeah. Look at it. He's getting Aghanim Scepter. One more source of movement for the sniper or potential source of initiation, which is great on Slaughter. Tornado not going to catch him. Cookie gets Yapsor far enough away.
Oh, Lil Shredder also another.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Yapsor's been making that priority number.
No, I dig this from Costa. Talks about how BKB get the satanic allows you to go cave. I can stay alive.
Radiant's courier has been
What is bot?
Well, getting what I like call vengeful spirit syndrome, which is you're like, I'm not afraid of death. Two hits and then you
Like this, a little
keep that going a little.
sloppy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Like, I think they're getting caught mid there was really bad. Now they have no momentum for 30 seconds.
Radiant are
This
scanning.
SG, they know there are some heroes here. They want to fight. If they can get the relocate follow up. A Dawnbreaker coming in as well. They took the swap to be able to bail out Nisha this time around, and everybody else is going to leave. They do get damage though between these two supports. They kill the Liqueur. Tava's going to be able to get away. You'll see Burrow strike out. 48 Blink Dagger is going to be. He should not have. He should not have. That was a double. Nice Lardar. Got to put some respect between these heroes. You got to respect even the supporting cast of.
You don't need carries. As long as you have enough minus armor, it's like Voker tanking, get obliterated.
Giving him more than flop. It's gonna get. No, Coach Vila is gonna get turned around. Here comes the stop. Actually catching the AO, which. But Hunt's gonna lose his first life in his spirit form. He goes. Nato looking to be able to finish stuff. Doesn't quite. The spirit is to die. Revenge. And again, it looks like both teams are way too anxious. Fights that are good for them.
Definitely feels like great. One of them owes teams, but they're eating also. And I've loved their lineup. They've taken a couple of fights on their teams. They've won them all. SG, you know, they're doing their Smith plays. Feels like they're the aggressors, but really looking, head on a swivel, trying to find any openings. Why they were able to contest the first Roche, and they're consistent finding these easy pickoffs. Secret's got to wake up, really, because ran at. Now they're going to go into the pit. Gotta be careful.
Yeah, you gotta keep vision. You gotta keep vision. Nisha's not even hitting you yet, guys. Like, once he does, he's gonna get demolished. Tavo, can they do it again? Can they jump at the right time? No way! That looks good. A swap out, though, prevents Tavo from being able we missed the core grafted. Nisha didn't pick it up in time. It was still on the ground. The Dawnbreaker gets there in time, stuns everybody up, snatches away the Aegis. But it's important for Kostabili to be able to stay alive here. Taking a lot of damage. King Jungle's looking to be able to get him out. Relocates away, but the tether was out. Kostabili is going to be left behind here. And is getting ripped apart by all this fight. His armor, and here comes Nisha. Epicenter, though. Tavo intercepts with a swap away from a Tava man. Out of danger, and Tava will die twice in this engagement. And King Jungle's welcome back to the fight, and see you later, buddy. Gone 50 is the rest of his team.
What a... These are just crazy, man. What the hell is going on?
Yeah.
The strategy, like, Secret just like, kill Roche, SG, all in to stop it. Okay, huge stun from Tavo. Great swap to ensure nobody grabs the Aegis. Biolicor takes it. He's going to get obliterated. But watch this. Tostabile comes in like very late in the engagement, immediately runs away because he got hit once by a Scotty. Then boom, Matu's tossed in, doesn't care about his life. KJ, I believe, drops the tether. He drops the tether and leaves Tostabile.
Yeah.
But why? Like, ADR had died. Also, don't know what the hell happened to ADR. I didn't even see him. He actually died over by the room as the first member of his team to go down. I believe Zai found him, and I guess Nisha just popped him from the pit. And that's, I don't know, 10k gold lead all of a sudden. Team Secret, all right.
Tier 3 down and Team Secret. Pretty good stranglehold on this game, but it has been a messy one, so you never know. Aghanim Scepter next for Elder. So he's like, yeah, all this minus armor, I'm hitting pretty hard. Puppy's like, I can join in on these fights. Oh, he's gonna switch it up for a halberd. Ooh, get an Aghanim.
Such a punch play. Halberd, I remember games, I remember Dazzle first night at Halberd. The day. It was a little stronger. Butterfly on speed. I like his identity. Trusting his team, so doesn't need to be KB.
Yep.
And just all in for DPS, but like intelligent DPS items in the sense that they provide a bit of utility and survivability.
Yeah.
It's not a Daedalus game, you don't need it.
The first build up is Dragonlance, gives you some strength. Then we have the Scotty, gives you a lot of strength again. Like a lot of survivability from these items while still providing good damage. KJ is going to be down.
He had vision.
Yeah.
Was that intentional? Like, did you want to throw away your life there?
Don't worry, guys. I'm going to die right now, so Team Secret, try and push high ground. He's going to go for the shard. That gives the corrosive haze on Crush, so you don't have to be so active with it, and that just is going to help out everybody.
And I really like it, the way he's been playing the hero, right? Because it's all about the haze. He lands a stun and kites away. Haze is from a distance. To your point, now you just click stun, zoom, and it makes it super simple to kill off heroes like Saiyan, who suddenly they're revealed even in Sandstorm. It's dust, save the money.
Dire's bottom tower
Got Satanic shortly, and then suddenly he not die. And keep in mind all the damage amplification, not just the minus armor, but just by being near Matu, he's getting 32%.
Good catch from Zai here. 40R's not getting away from this one. Once again, picked off by Zai. He seemingly has just made it his mission to focus down this Invoker that had a very good game for the first 15 minutes, maybe 20, but it has been suffering the last 5 or 10.
It's just hard. Blardar in your face. ADR, he had a great start, but I think that death back, suddenly you fall off. You don't farm as the hero, you find kills, and that's progressively more. Guys. Move up to the high ground. That's the chicken.
The scary part is that like you don't actually feel like you can get that close to your base being assaulted unless you do it together as all 5, because otherwise you're just gonna get split. Right, by the time the man's gonna pull you in, he doesn't really care if he trades his life underneath tier 4. Illusion stays high. All is good. And you've got a long bit of distance to be able to cover to get on top of that snipe.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
That was what he scooped up in the road.
I love that pickup. Concussive Grenade is actually, it was one of the worst abilities that has been put in the game when it was first introduced, and now it's actually been buffed like 5 different times. Pretty big buffs, and it's like, finally sick.
Throw it in the air and like catch, like it worked actually like a old Han ability. Okay, where it would go up in the air, and based on where it hit you, it would push you in that direction.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's a
and it also had like no cast range to it, which made no sense for a hero like Sniper, who naturally wanted to keep his distance. Yeah, it was. odd. I think they've like doubled or tripled the amount you can push yourself with that ability. They've increased the cast range by a gigantic amount.
That's
one way to cut a creep wave.
What was sick was he didn't have vision, just threw it directly where it would hit the higher wave.
Yeah.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
That's knowing Dota 2 very well.
Dire's bottom tower is under
BKBs
attack.
have made this pretty rough. I think SG are at a point where you rapier to come out onto your gyro. You got Daedalus queued up for now.
Look at how many
Has the
blink
blink.
daggers they have. Like, you got the blink dagger VR, and I got that, but like Kostabile even getting a blink dagger.
You got to. You have to kill Nisha. You just go for him.
Isn't that what the relocate is for, though? Get you on top of the sniper?
It doesn't get him close enough. 'Cause you can't just take him into the middle of the fight, then you're stunned by Slardar. Like, it's not optimal, but when you're this far behind, like, you've got to just commit. This will come in handy.
Smoke. Don't think they really want to go on Avenge first. Okay, he's going to go for it anyway. Blinking forward onto him here. Bow up, Earth Strike, Sunstrike as well. But Kostabile is getting demolished. Trying to go for the relocate up, but Zai with the timing denies a relocate away. And they make sure both the IO and the Gyrocopter die for that. Honestly, I'm not sure what SG were expecting there.
He, Satanic when he
Yeah.
basically precast Satanic.
It's like, it's so deep on that secret side of the map, and you're going for Avenge with Ags. Why?
Yeah, a little bit of desperation, perhaps. Like this, it's really frustrating. We have the benefit of playing Fog of War. If we just toggle the Radiant Vision, you'll understand a bit of what makes
Is
it.
under attack.
Don't see a damn thing. You don't know where
Yeah.
anybody is.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Yeah, it's just darkness. Like there's secret heroes somewhere,
Radiant's
and they're
bottom
very,
tower
very
is under
spooky
attack.
scary.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Spooky,
fortified.
scary. Words of a
Radiant's bottom
full-time
barracks are
analyst
under
of
attack.
Dota 2.
Radiant's bottom barracks is falling.
Not bad words to say, because that shit is indeed scary. Okay, not quite making it over the cliff there. Once again, Secret are going to be very disciplined in their approach of ending the game like we saw in game one. Right?
Yeah, it makes sense though under the circumstances. They've lost a series that I feel like they, upper bracket is at risk for them. Group B looks very strong, and currently
Radiant's
they
top
would
tower
not
is
be
under
hitting
attack.
it. That upper bracket, up top, Beast goes with tiebreaker, although I think they need this win.
Yeah.
So no taking chances.
Elephant lost to Team Spirit, huh?
Yeah, they got
Ooh.
2-0'd.
Elephant. People just kept on saying that, like, Elephant's going to show up at TI, even though they had a very rough DPC. We didn't get to see them at all outside of regular seasons. The troubles just continue
Radiant
for
are
them.
scanning.
Smoke up, King Jungles, Kostabile, Tavo leading the charge. They know they're in the triangle. All about finding the entry point of attack here. Deal with an illusion that reveals a whole lot. SG quickly back away to the other side of the river, but Secret, they could just as easily push the waves in and force you to make a move of some kind. You can't just stay on that side of the map. That's not where your base is.
Radiant's
They're gonna
top
try.
tower is under attack.
Oh, it's so hard. They just don't know where Secret are, and if you don't know where they are, how do you get on top of the sniper?
And Sniper's like, okay, you guys got to come to me. I'm going to start hitting the tier 3. They're going to find Puppy first. That's going to be a nice pickoff to start things off. Matava Man, you want to swap something? Kostabile, jeez, is looking out the range of the sniper, laying into damage. What a beautiful ultimate from Puppy as well. That's going to be close the book on this game. This is just completely over. Puppy didn't even die in that fight. SG Esports, they were keeping it even. They're keeping it even for about 15 minutes, but Team Secret, they just won that one fight for Roche, even if they didn't get the Aegis either time. And that is them to be able to dominate the rest of the game. Cool strategy from Secret. Do you think we're going to see it again, though?
I think so.
Either time.
I love Sniper. I've seen it
And,
successful with multiple teams now. And it feels like if you think about heroes that can actually carry, feel best. EA kind of fallen off. Sniper, this range advantage.
Seconds to battle.
Approaching.
The battle begins.
Denied. You didn't want that.
Dire's courier has been killed. Radiant's courier has been killed.
Warriors of the world. First blood.
OG versus T1 starting in 7 minutes.
Да нет, друг, я не оправдываюсь. Да нет, друг, я не оправдываюсь.
Seven-minute, boys. 7 minutes.
Pull roots and run.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
No. I don't like to see the Earth manipulated in such a fashion.
Almost trust you.
Come, come. Not for you.
Either like you couldn't see me because I was too far away, or you're.
Look, I know
I
I'm
don't know
legally
which one it
blind
was.
without my contacts,
know
but
which
I
one it
have
was.
them in right now, dude. Now I can't remember what it was I was giving you about. I think it was effective.
Wow.
Like, if you're going to have a
Obviously-
Legion commander that's going in for the duel on the Weaver,
Oh,
I
okay,
feel
yeah.
like that's kind of a waste. I understand what you mean, the fact that
Yeah.
it goes on someone else. But I think also you have a... But
I-
then you
I
have two
could've-
heroes that are doing the same exact kind of thing where they want to kind of court, unless you get the Legion fusions or you want the W.
Team
Yeah, that's why I
Astra's
was
turn
looking
to
at
pick.
you, Kevin.
I processed that and I could have verbalized better that I understood that we were talking. Yeah, it's not important. I agree
We'll
with what
discuss
you said.
this
Yeah, I
later.
got you. It's not worth me giving. I'd rather talk about Pokemon. Ember
10
Spirit.
I did not see
remaining.
that coming.
That's why. Ember Spirit pick, very good.
5 seconds remaining.
Disables, roots, slapping around 2 heroes. Again, they have some disables, but Ember had Slade, jump.
Joseph, my man, happy birthday to you.
Against Storm Spirit. Good. More Storms. There was a couple teams I saw had decent, so I thought maybe Alliance is gonna.
If anything, it gives even a stronger idea for you. Yeah, the Legion commander, right? Because it's, you know, a very quick way to launch for the Weaver. Again, not a flawless idea. Line. Going to play very, very aggressive and let it get
Team Astra's turn to pick.
very dependent upon that. No, but they're gonna go with the Doom.
No,
That
right
is
there.
also very, very good against Embers.
Remember that you're just. I like it. But there's second.
Alliance's turn to pick.
Mereska has arrived.
Willow.
Ooh, our first Snark Willow.
Similar principle. They have these evade. Grab some like. Got terrorized from hard disabled. Set up a stun.
5 seconds
Terrorize.
remaining.
Do this.
Darkness skill.
Same.
This
She's
is a man who
literally.
gets paid to talk about Dota
Team
2 for a
Astra
living,
literally
guys.
a Halloween.
Mirana.
Like cosplay or not be difficult.
10 seconds remaining.
Things you think about
No,
in
I
your
just thought
free
about it right
time.
now. Just thought about it right now. Bramble mazes all over your front yard.
Yeah, that sounds
Swap
awful.
one light out for a sweet Bedlam light. Play her first. Play terrorize on loop for hours
Just
to get
no,
ready
no,
for
have her
Halloween.
laugh. Have her laugh
Yeah,
on loop because that is horrifying.
It wouldn't be hard. You could take all of her voice lines. Probably some like software crap.
I would love to see some. By the way, if you do the idea of making a dark at me at Monty at or at Purge Gamers, because I definitely am the crazy mind thinking about this.
Mirana's gonna be in the bullet. So this.
Goes with that ninja gear. Poking.
Night Stalker lost a gem while he was in the base. Still looking for it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Did just see Dancer's courier flying pretty wildly across the map. But they've got Minos with a Scythe of Ice, the Hex spam, they catch the TB, that's the big kill! The one hero that matters for Thunder Predator gone for 80 seconds. And do they see Moose?
Radiant's courier has been
Ooh,
killed.
they might do. Moose is being caught out. Bryle just finding pick after pick.
I think terribly. Just kind of confused where south, where north is, because he was alone there. There was no one around him, and against Tinker, you can't really afford to do that.
Am I dire? Am I radiant? Doing up here. Well, this allows Undying to go
Radiant's
back
middle tower has fallen.
to that high ground, which they've been waiting for. Aegis is going to expire soon. They will quite simply take down these middle lane of barracks.
Radiant's
There's
middle
nothing to
barracks
stop
are
them
under
there.
attack.
They
Radiant's
might even
middle
consider
barracks
swinging
has
into the
fallen.
bottom lane. Top has a tier 2 still,
Radiant's
but
middle
bottom is
has
wide
fallen.
open for them.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Look at that, attack speed on Lifestealer, who's about to be level 25, extra rage duration, gonna be great, especially for this slow sieging.
Radiant's bottom tower
If he
is under
feels
attack.
in any kind of trouble, IO will try to save him. There's also a fight, a hold,
Radiant's bottom tower has
and also
fallen.
the relocate plays.
Radiant's
It's so hard
bottom
for Leo
barracks
style
are
this
under
game
attack.
against a Night Stalker. He can't find any sneaky positions to go from. He has to smoke with the rest of his team.
Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen.
Another barracks though, ranged stands, but melee down. And Undying falling back to the high ground, hold. That
Portal.
tactical advantage.
Portal, got a portal, yep.
Well, they bought the dip. The range their advantage, holding the high ground.
Modeling the dip.
It will expire and it will give up the position of TP, but they make the first jump.
Oh,
The
Disruptor.
Sand King is silenced up. Frank with the arena there, but Tomato and Sableye with these BKBs shredding through them. Minos Shaw, the TB comes out, but he's hexed. There's no chance for Minos whatsoever. No saves, no Lincolns, no way to get out. Another minute and a half for them. And Terrorblade and Undying have this game in the bag. Sableye looking to clean up any additional kills he can.
And now
a TB for Tinker. In we come for Bryle. Unstoppable.
That was such a good global silence from Duke. Disruptor blinked in, was ready to use the Static Storm. It mutes items with the Aghanim Scepter. Unfortunately, not fast enough. That's like half a second, maybe even less.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Oh, Boo efficiency. Put that Philly, big boy Philly in instead of Telescope. There we go. I just had to say it a couple of times.
I clicked on him and he did it. You waited for the stream to be watching. Do get a buyback out of Frank there. Is only a lane and a half of barracks down for Thunder Predator. 30 seconds for your TB to respawn.
Radiant's top
They won't
tower
have
is under
Master
attack.
for the next fight, and it looks like Tomato's going to munch through the remainder of his buildings. Static Storm after the
Static.
Mono Strike. Oh, Tomato skewered back with that Spear of Mars.
he
but
got in.
So a creep is infested, but he's not surviving.
Not enough to survive. BKB was also available, but not. Epicenter from Sanking, followed up by a Static Storm, and also Veil of Discord. That's a ton of damage. So one set of barracks mid gone, bottom lane, range barracks. No one cares about the range creeps. Tier 3 or very low, 70 HP. Next rush, let's see the spawn timer. 2 minutes 30 seconds.
Another long one. And no one cares about range creeps after lane stage, do they? You'll spend your mana and cast your spells for the first 6-7 minutes, but after that, no cares range creep. Getting a bit of dewarding done. All under vision here. Very good deep wards, this in one in particular. Be able to scout any movements by the Terrorblade in particular.
Silencer getting very close. The refresher, holding that Philosopher Stone will help out definitely. And also increased cast range from Telescope. Once he starts using that, instead of global silence, it's gonna be
Dire's middle tower
Galactic
is under
silence.
attack.
Silence the click. Manos is well, with 18 7,000 gold saved up. He doesn't have anything cute. What else do I need? I've got Scythe of Ice with Rhea. I will focus the TB and make
He can eat Aghanim Scepter, get Dig on 5. It's a ton of gold. Plus he needs to have for a buyback. Night Stalker buying another gem.
Did you ever find that first gem, by the way?
Nope.
Oh. Yeah, off the face of the map. Got gobbled up by a Roshan.
Dire are scanning.
With a scan on the pit. Might be a misread from Undying. The smoke's going to break on Tomato. Leo Star's ready to jump on the Tinker. They make the catch onto Broyle. The Global Silence comes though, and Broyle's so tanky. The Bloodstone, he's not used the BKB yet. MGZ's dead, shredded, while Broyle's still standing. The initiation doesn't work. That Brandon now in Oz. Oh, he wishes he didn't use that meta.
Yeah.
But I still feel like I want to play for a couple more years.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I was referencing your panel that you were just going on.
Oh, you meant
Yeah, the
that
difference
way.
between
Yeah, okay.
panel and casting.
I'm not sure. I haven't casted yet. I mean, paneling's been real fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually enjoyed it quite a bit. And
Okay, so we have to make this a really fun experience so
Yes.
we beat out the panelists.
Well, I mean, you should be confident. My mom tells me, you know, if you can do it, I'm sure anybody can. So you should have confidence.
Yeah, your mom's probably right about that. Let's go to the draft. OG versus T1 is kicking off right now, and I want to get every bit of little...
one day, it
10
just
seconds
doesn't feel
remaining.
good. So I think, like, for that reason alone, I think OG probably one of the teams that are the least affected by it.
5 seconds
But I still think,
remaining.
like, knowing that you at least get one win in is going to be important for them. And I think T1, they're, like, on the redemption arc today, right? They started off pretty poorly on day one. And then today they stepped up against VP and, like, really showed up.
Add to that I personally feel like we're looking at two of the best team fighting teams in the world. Like T1 has been, I think, incredible at Animajor, and like some of their highlights have, for me
10
anyway, just been
seconds
how they're
remaining.
able to play as five together. And OG, I mean, they're just OGs. So
5 seconds
I'm really
remaining.
looking forward to
Turn to
seeing which team
ban.
actually proves to be stronger in that aspect. And I feel like T1 can actually take them. I think they can beat OG at their own game.
They were definitely a different team when I watched them play up against Virtus Pro. But the thing I always love
turn
about
to
watching
ban.
the OG draft is that you never know what their opener means. So we saw No Tail and Seb both play Legion Commander already, and it totally changes. You know, we've seen LC go rush armlet from the off lane. You're the source of damage later in Initiator. Then we've seen the
10
support
seconds
LC
remaining.
going for early Shard and a much more support-focused build, and you're a pretty
5
formidable
seconds
laner even as a
remaining.
support. And I think one of the only teams I've seen that's willing to play tiny mid. Everybody else, I think it's just a carry.
I see. Okay. I mean, I think for me, the Legion, though, here very likely is going to be core. I think one of the big problems that I've seen throughout the group stage for these past 2 days is just how do we figure out Tide? And there seems like I've seen some Vipers. I've seen a lot of people try different answers. But the problem is when you Viper the Tide, it just ends up being a 5. And then it's still just going to Ravage, and he doesn't care that you're countering Kraken Shell. So Legion Commander seems to me like that's the idea of it here. They want a good answer to the Tide, and they want to make sure they can kill it. So for me, personally, if I was drafting right now against OG, I would assume in like 8 out of 10 scenarios, this is going to be a Legion 3.
It's nice against Phoenix as well, especially if that's a 5. Like, you don't really enjoy that matchup too much, and later in the game, it's quite easy to...
I mean, you get the insta-hit proc if somebody's hitting you, and you get more egg
Turn
hits
to
too. So,
ban.
despite the with the purge as well, so you have a lot of ways of actually dealing with Phoenix.
remember, defensive dispel is a cleanse.
Okay,
It's an offensive purge.
I see. Thank you, Kyle, for educating me.
No worries. some people disagree
Kyle
with me.
teaching somebody
10
else.
seconds remaining.
I guess that's not Dota
So you
mechanics.
don't
That's
know
just
about
language.
this. You don't know
5
about this, but
seconds
Kyle's been
remaining.
teaching me for years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. He teach you a lot back in Heroes of New Earth.
absolutely.
Yeah, what did he teach you?
Things.
Yeah.
Stuns are good.
Stuns are
Concepts.
good. Yeah, I mean, you guys held on
Color
to that.
coordinations.
Color coordination.
Yes.
I told Cap the other day, remember when we were talking, I think it was ESL Hamburg, you told me about how I always used to stress the importance of damage?
Yeah.
I was like, shit, I forgot about that.
Yes.
And
So-
I'm still upset because it really makes the game seem a lot simpler once you look at it in terms of damage. And I just didn't do that for a couple of years.
Yeah,
I
Pete-
learned so much, I forgot the important bits.
Yeah, Pete Kyle just talked about, like, you know, at the end of the day, it's just which team can kill the other one faster. And then you have, like, heals that are negative damage. And, like, these things, like, stuns are, like, 0 damage. It stops damage from the enemy team. And, like, just think about everything in terms of how they affect the damage.
10 seconds
And then Han is really easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I responded to Kyle that OG
5 seconds
took those
remaining.
same lessons and went on to win TI twice. And
But
Kyle
Kyle's a
had-
very successful analyst now. Kyle's a somewhat successful analyst now.
Actually,
That's better.
Actually, I am an award-nominated analyst.
Can't you?
Oh my
This is
God.
gonna be great. Imagine when in like a couple months from now you're gonna be able to say I'm an award-winning panelist now.
Yeah, that's not happening.
T1's turn
You don't
to
believe?
ban.
No.
It's okay, Kyle. People didn't believe in OG winning 2 TIs, but look at them now.
Hey, if they can fluke it, I'm sure I can fluke my way to a win.
Kyle doesn't have enough connections to be able to win that award.
So I've been doing the panel for a
Dota
while.
doesn't have enough connections. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, I've been doing the panel for a while, so I'm just thinking about random stuff that are
10
not
seconds
related to the
remaining.
draft
Yeah,
while we're
yeah, yeah.
drafting.
This is the perfect phase.
And
by
I
the way.
noticed that both teams are
5
BMW
seconds
sponsored.
remaining.
Hype. I hope.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Well,
I actually didn't even know OG was BMW sponsored.
I saw it on Johan's shirt.
yeah, not sponsored enough to get on the flag, but I guess we're giving the promotion now. So, give me a free car, thanks. You're actually a natural because this second banning phase.
I know you guys never talk about it. I think this is one of the most interesting parts of the draft.
All right, hit me with the interesting
Yeah, break it
analysis.
I'll let
of
Kyle.
this.
I'll let Kyle start, and I'll
no,
follow
no,
up.
after you.
Okay, so generally the second phase of bans, you're trying to set up whatever picks you're going to go for. So the bans that you see here are probably going to be fairly indicative of what they're going to draft. Unfortunately, I haven't drafted in a
10
while,
seconds
so this is the kind of thing that when I'm playing, I would like I see puck clinks
5
crop. I'm like,
seconds
okay, it's
remaining.
this or that.
Mhm.
And a team like OG here, they will be like pretty sure about what's coming. I think they will expect the Doom almost. You will have like Doom, a couple of other heroes that are on the list, and then depending on which one of these they choose to go for, you're going to be prepared with the pick that they're about to pick. And I'm just stalling so I can see it and then say, yes, that's what I was thinking.
Very
how you-
good.
that's how
No,
you
that's
cast, right?
that's
Yeah. That's what I
exactly how
learned
you
from
do
Kyle.
it. Yeah, you 100%
Yeah.
stall, and then just when they
See?
pick that hero, you were like, yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Yes, I learned that from Kyle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot you can pick up from the legends, right? Like, you're good friends, of course, with William Lee, the coach. You know, you just talk about which team can push the lanes most effectively, because controlling the waves is a good way to ensure you have vision around the map. You can make advantageous movements, and
I feel like I've gotten 3 different lessons on Dota. It's all about pushing waves, it's all about
Yes,
doing
and
damage, and it's all about stuns. So
Vision
like,
tools are really important too.
Okay, it's all about vision.
Yes.
Right.
this is dangerous.
I feel like not all of it can be everything.
Now, here's another thing that's very critical. A lot of players, they neglect the importance of daylight savings
10
time.
seconds
That's important when
remaining.
you're playing Night Stalker against Phoenix, because Egg supersedes darkness
5
and turns
seconds
the
remaining.
night to day.
Yep. Yes, you were correct. It does.
That's it.
Yes.
It's an
Nothing
interesting
beats
pick,
the
though. I wonder
actual
why you
sun.
actually pick Night Stalker here. Why would you pick it into the Phoenix?
More control for the Tide, I suppose, like a disable that, or a silence rather, that isn't removed. But
T1's turn
I
to
imagine,
Mereska has arrived.
looking at it, somewhere out there in the ether, Rich Campbell smiles. I think it's more likely a core Night Stalker based off that, just because I think you need it to be for the
By that
silence
you
to be
mean
enough,
carry, right?
or off lane,
Okay.
or
Have we
mid.
seen support Night
Mid.
Stalker?
We've
10
seen it played by
I haven't seen-
Fauna as a 5 quite a bit.
Oh,
back in
okay.
Oh,
the
that's
Back.
true,
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah. A little
That's
bit
pre-TI,
back.
yeah.
Yeah.
5 seconds
But I
remaining.
think it's a 3 or potentially a 2. I could see Thompson playing it, but it's so that you can actually kill the Phoenix if you find it. Another tool to potentially help with dealing with Egg as well, just because you get so much attack speed during night. Although
But you don't,
it's daytime.
because it's
yeah.
daytime because of the egg.
I said that. I knew
Yes.
that.
So actually, I think most of the time when I watch OG draft, I feel like I get a very cohesive idea of what they're going for. I think this time around it looks a little bit odd to me. I feel like the NS is. It feels very weird. I really wonder what their last pick is, because I think whatever they pick now, it really has to like round out the draft and give them a solid win condition. I think T1 most likely gonna ban Tinker.
10 seconds remaining.
Just because of the synergy with NS. And to me, this looks like a most likely Legion 5 actually now.
And this is a combo that they utilized well, they had Dusa in the first game they beat VP and then Doom in the second, but this is something it looks like T1 tweaked as they came into the second day group stage, where they put a lot more emphasis, I think, on being able to scale into the late game.
10 seconds remaining.
They actually played Night Stalker themselves in their opening series.
5
was it against
seconds
EG or
remaining.
IG? It was against IG, and they got 2-0'd.
Yeah.
So I think that this is a little more stable. Like, I'm looking at Teamfight squad.
Yeah, exactly. And I think especially when it comes to vision tools, like you're playing NS, these vision tools are useful when you have the ability to go into the enemy team. And I think in this game, like, they don't really have that much team fight on OG. Like, I feel like it might be hard to fight into all these heroes, because you're going to have to silence the Tide, or duel him, and at the same time you're dealing with a Stone Gaze, a Doom, and an Egg. So, initiation for them I think is going to be quite tricky. Even though they have the vision, I think it's going to be hard to find the right target.
T1's turn to pick.
Oh, yeah, they didn't ban the Tinker. So that makes sense.
It's a great spot for it. It's one of the traditional hard counters to Dusa.
Do you think it's Sumail Tinker?
I think it's Thompson Tinker, Sumail Tiny.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, you're right. Where it's very surprising they banned out
10
Nyx Assassin. Like,
seconds
why would you fear Nyx in this game? To be honest, like, it just makes OG's team fight fall
5
flat.
seconds
Now
remaining.
Tinker, suddenly you have this great tool to not just combo with the duel, with the tiny combo, with the vision of the NS, but you're very strong against Dusa, Doom, Tide. Like, all of these heroes actually just hate playing into Tinker. And you don't have catch for him right now. The last pick has to be it, and you kind of banned it yourself. No Quap, no Puck.
I think when I look at T1's draft, what I think was really strong is that they have this ball, and OG had like vision, and they have like these purges and stuff, but they never had the ability to commit into the ball. And what Tinker does is it forces you to come break up your ball and come chase the Tinker. So it's a really, really smart pick by OG, and I think I'm a little bit surprised that T1 didn't actually just ban it out. I thought it was like the first most obvious ban when I saw the NS, and they picked Willow, so I was a little bit surprised by that. And I think it's probably the only hero I could see solve that issue for OG.
Because what it was is T1 firmly in control of the win condition, right? Like,
Yes.
you look at the draft, it's like, okay, we haven't addressed this at all as OG. So you needed some hero, similar to, say, like what an Alchemist would impact in the changing of a game state.
Right.
That just sort of flips it on its head, where all of a sudden it's like, well, T1's team fight now looks a little exposed. So, hey, Mag, not bad. You're going to be able to find Tinker, but, end of the day, you can lose. Like, what felt like an unlosable lineup in the sense that you would eventually get Medusa strong enough to just walk down a lane, you're now kind of frustrated. Like, Night Stalker suddenly activated. He has a purpose, and I believe it will be 5? Like, well, now they're thinking, which one will Seb play, which will No-Tail?
It's very interesting.
Okay. I like this. Because No-Tail can now play more defensive, keep his Tinker alive, and Seb's just going to run at people.
Yeah. And they have a Purge for the RP. I think Magnus was also a very interesting last pick to me. It's probably not, that wasn't the type of hero at all that I was thinking about.
Same.
When you guys were talking about the whole win condition, I get they can play this ball and they're going to be able to, okay, they're running around as 5 or whatever, but ultimately T1, aren't they just going to naturally outscale OG? Like, how does OG end this game when you've got Medusa, Doom, Mag, like, they're all going to naturally scale up and just be really strong late game. Like, how does OG end the game to prevent them reaching a point that doesn't matter if Deuce is countered by Tinker, she's got MKB?
I think the way the Deuce Tinker matchup goes, or like in general, I think OG will have a timing where they're much stronger. But I think at some point Deuce will just be, it'll take too long for the Tinker to rearm, shoot laser, rocket, for her to not deal any damage at all. So I think eventually down the line, T1 has a very, very solid draft. And they have like Empower Dusa, they have a lot of damage in their draft naturally. They have this Doom that's going to scale up, so yeah, late game's going to be tough for OG, but I think as with any OG timing, OG draft, they have a really, really clear timing of like, once they get Blink Daggers or they have the Vision tools, they have Nighttime, they're going to really be able to put pressure on T1, and T1 really doesn't have any like pick-off to respond with. All their spells are cooldowns, and then OG's going to make sure that they never have all 5 of their cooldowns up at once, and just constantly bring the pressure to them, force them to fight without ults.
Yeah, it really comes down to how does OG control vision. That's where the strength lies. Because sure, T1 team fight's gonna be great, but what if they lose a couple of towers? Like I remember something. Oh my god, I forgot how much these guys spam Ghost Lines. It's been a quiet couple of games.
It has.
Moon Meander was a huge Tinker spammer. And I never forgot what he told me like way back when in 2016. If you want to beat Tinker, you got to kill his towers. If you don't do that, like you just get stuck. Like there's going to be a Night Stalker on a high ground, TP is coming around. It's just very annoying to play the game if you can't kill Tinker towers, and that's something you've got a real issue with, I think, as T1, because this draft is just a bit slow and very level dependent. Until level 6, your first 4 heroes you see at the top side of your screen just simply are not effective.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think what's going to be interesting is just how do they fight back during the OG timing, and how do they fight without their cooldowns, because I'm imagining they're going to greed up on a lot of heroes. I think interesting things to look for is Kuku going to go Midas? It'll tell a lot about the game. And then what will Mag build? Is he going to go for some Blink route, like Tread's Blink, or is he going to go into some Echo Saber?
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit of overlap in the T1 heroes about how they want to farm and control the map. Like, both Mag and Dusa kind of want to farm Ancients. And how they decide to distribute that is going to be interesting to me.
No Tail using his strength as a Legion Commander level 1 to try and snipe away the boundary rune. Doesn't get that. Puts a little damage onto Zephyr and Cuckoo. It's always, I feel like if I was playing against T1, I would never give them to. Just because of the versatility of them being able to play it on Carl or Cuckoo. And also it just seems to fit very nicely into their combination of team fight and the way that they're able to scale with this hero. Like,
yeah, it's also just one of Cuckoo's best heroes. Like, he loves playing Doom. I'm surprised it took him until day 2 to bust it out. And bottom lane, like, I think you're gonna be pretty happy with this. Like, Doom just kind of farms against Tiny, right? Like, I don't see him dying to LC Tiny lane.
No, I think he's gonna be fine in the lane. I think.
Oh, he's got him! That's first blood. Zoxa commits for it. Oh no. 23 Savage thought the Fairy Fire was going to be good enough, but because he was caught in the brambles, it was too much damage.
Yeah. No, I think OG's draft is not really about the lanes. I think that this game is going to come very much down to, like, can OG force T1 into such a small space on the map that their heroes can't get farmed?
Well, another concern I had is you picked Magnus into Tinker, but that matchup's very Tinker favored, isn't it? Like, it's kind of the dream, you know, for heroes like Storm, like Tinker, where you're high range, high damage. And there's no real offensive threat Carl can output. So long as Thompson doesn't, you know, just straight up get skewered into tower, I don't see how he doesn't effectively get all last. Right now he's already doing incredibly well. 10 CS by 149.
Yeah, I didn't fully understand this pick either. But it'll be curious to see how it plays out.
Oh, he tried. Doesn't quite get it though.
Because you also had, like, the tide already. Like, I feel like, well, we'll just see how it plays out. But I feel like your late game's kind of already secured. The Tinker was the huge issue, and I don't feel like Mag addresses it.
Yeah.
You would have preferred, what, a more active, like, Puck, Lina, Quaps type hero? Is that what you were looking for?
I actually was thinking about Zeus.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Zeus is like my favorite hero against Tinker, just because you find him immediately, and then with Aghanim, it's like you interrupt the rearm or the TP very easily.
Do you think they were more focused on the durability of their mid laner versus Night Stalker Tiny? Like, were they just not looking at Tinker and being like, we want to focus on these other heroes?
It's possible, but the thing is, like, I feel like Zeus is really nice against Night Stalker too, because your big issue and what OG's advantage is, like Aiden was saying, is vision, and that's the part of the game that T1's draft kind of suffers in, because you'll have all this team fight, but you're not going to have any method of using it unless kind of, you know, OG's going to effectively have the initiator's advantage in every fight. They're going to be able to pick and choose their battles.
I would agree with that. I think.
Oh, we got him. Shockwave skewered back into the tower. Does have the laser on him, so he couldn't actually put any damage during that time.
Yeah, I think for me, I was looking for something that gives them a little bit of pace. I think their draft right now, like if you're playing Phoenix or... It's just hard for them to start stuff off. They kind of have to react to OG constantly. So I was thinking more something along the lines of like Ember, Void Spirit, which are not necessarily great heroes for the game, but I think it makes T1's draft come together. And it gives them a hero to play around, a hero to enable them to make moves and stuff.
I see that.
I think for me, I would imagine that's what they're thinking about this mag. He's probably going to be more of like a Blink initiator with Horn Toss and like probably just using RP to get kills from them and punishing OG when they go too deep.
Cuckoo opted for the mana burn creep instead of the bigger Satyr.
Tiny's a low mana hero.
Yeah. Oh, look at, oh man, No Tail. I like that. Controlling the bottom rune and just annoying Carl. Because this, like, look at Topson. I love this, where he's just kind of controlling the top side of the hill. So Carl too low. If he runs for the rune, he dies to a rocket laser. But he's going to deny the full wave before he runs for it. Look at this. Like, not even watching other lanes. Just love watching this mid matchup. I think Topson for sure is going to be the winner. Or, well, reason his team wins or loses. Although Sumail is enormous down bottom, 30 and 11. I did not expect this lane to be so successful.
Yeah, OG's lanes are doing really, really well. Even the top lane, Night Stalker's winning during daytime, and it's about to hit night, and he has lane control. So this is not looking great for T1, I think, as a start.
This is actually crazy. Is that supposed? I guess the first blood, right? But Seb is going like straight Vanguard too, and now it's nighttime, and suddenly this is a level 4 Medusa that feels like he's in some serious trouble.
They don't even have like stacks or anything on the side of T1, so it's not even like there's a plan B set in place.
Yeah, and it's a bit too early for Dusa to leave the lane. You don't really want to leave the lane yet. You still want to be able to sit here and play pressure. And here's also the problem with not having any sort of playmaker in your draft. You don't really have the ability to shift stuff up. So once OG starts zoning these heroes off the lanes and you have to go into the jungles, suddenly the Dusa is taking mag space, and they're no longer able to farm these greedy heroes like the way they want to.
That's a really good point. Neither support really makes plays. They're just ult-dependent team fighters. And I think about the necessity of taking a Tinker's Towers to obtain map control. How in the hell are you going to do that if you've lost all 3 lanes? T1 not out of this, but OG are certainly in control. Nice tree toss there.
No Tail! Is he going to be burnt out? He will, and Zephyr is going to survive. Over the side, Carl having to skewer away. Picked up the Invis rune, so it should be okay. Whitemon. Carl, he might go for it. He will. RP underneath the tower, still has a shockwave ready to go, and that is just enough to get the kill onto Seb. Thompson takes a little bit of damage on his way out as well. Quite a bit of damage, in fact. So nice pickup for Carl. Good use of his first RP.
Oh no! Thompson just TP'd to, he accidentally TP'd. I guess it actually doesn't matter at all, but he TP'd to the tier 1 and then just King advances back to base. So I guess it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. He had a TP scroll, so.
Really gonna be
Your face looks beautiful in profile.
Oh my god.
It's a side profile, right? Yes. He told me about this.
Yes.
Kyle, you shouldn't look dead into the camera anymore. You should just always be looking at me or Aiden.
The side.
Yeah.
So it seems like neither team was able to do anything with the catapults. This is rotated into the jungle, and I think this is like OG's goal. They want to force the T1 heroes just more and more together, force them further and further into their own side of the map.
Oof! That was just a bit too much damage for Carl. Didn't expect that. They still have the Siege Wagon alive too, so they can do a lot in this mid lane.
Darkness pop top as well. Savage.
Running him down. They're going to try and TP in to bail him out, but it's not going to be good enough. It's a Tidehunter ultimately. He doesn't provide a stun to stop Seb. He just keeps running him down.
Wow. Yeah. OG are just owning right now. And it's only 4-3, but if you look at the map, it just, they own everything at the moment. However, it's kind of what the draft is required to do, right? They need to be the playmakers. They have to be the ones kind of forcing T1 into uncomfortable spots because, it's a Doom going Midas. It's a Medusa. At a certain point, they're going to be plenty strong. But I actually think the biggest item for them is going to be at a point when Cuckoo has both BKB Shivas. Because he just has to find Tinker. If you Doom him, that is likely going to be enough to win the fight. As Thompson gets very close to his Blink Dagger, farming up stacks. Oh, Fairy Trinket. Perfect.
Very big pickup.
So T1's gonna hit their timing around 10 minutes. It's gonna be daytime, and both their supports are hopefully gonna be level 6 around then, and that's when they're gonna be able to fight back. For now, they're just like kind of trying to get as much as they can out of the map until they get 6 supports.
Come on, gotta get a run over here. They're not gonna allow this support to be able to sit in and soak up whatever creeps push in. T1 scout out the stacks here, but not much they can do about that
Radiant's
ancient
bottom
stack.
tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
I'm curious. So I've not seen Seb do this in a while. He used to do it on.
Savage needs some help. He's dead. He is out of mana. They're gonna TP in now. Maybe Carl can actually bail him, not in time. He might be able to get the kill on his Seb, pulls him back in with the RP. He's going to get stunned, but the tower might be able to finish off the job. Zephyr, we can maybe get him with a fire. Oh, getting cleansed just at the right time. Dives forward. A couple more fire spirits. The Sunray going out, but it get canceled by the Void. Carl had that haste rune from the bottom, and that is going to be enough to be able to get that kill.
If there's no haste, he just lives there.
Oh, look at Carl! He knew that Tinker was doing the smoke laser trick on the Ancient stack, and he's going to take the last 4 of the Ancients.
This is huge for them. This is slowing down OG's timing a lot, and it gives them the gold they need. But the hero that we have not talked about at all is Tiny, and he's just farming out of his mind.
True.
Oh, Noto, he was so close to 6 there. He would have got a easy duel, but yeah, it's a good point for Maiden because Sumel's just untouched. He's going to have Echo Saber complete and on the way 10 minutes into the game. Yeah, you can see though, like, I think that's very telling that the golden XP is so firmly in OG's favor, but the win probability is relatively even. And it's because this is the state of the game, it has to be. Like, if somehow T1 are like winning lanes and taking early towers, they can just kind of sit on the lead, farm triangle, and eventually take a W. But now is the time. Tinker has a Blink Dagger, trying to make moves.
Hitting Cuckoo. They catch him in a bramble. I think it would definitely die, as is the fear. Might still be enough. The burst damage is so much. If he gets out of vision, maybe he survives. Tinker Thompson does not want to chase that down. Cuckoo will survive.
Huge.
Yeah, so now they know that Cuckoo has to go back to base. I would expect Thompson to go top immediately before the Doom is ready to fight and try to apply some pressure here to enable them to go for this push.
Darkness ready, as his duel.
Whitemon huddling back in the trees. He really is just trying to soak up experience. He's going to show himself, trying to keep Seb from tanking the tower, but he's going to make sure the Siege Wagon stays alive. They're going to bring in the Doom for this one. Seb, they're going to be able to get the Doom off on him, so they're not going to be able to get off the Darkness first. He is going to get a bit of a bumper and heal, but the rest of T1 have already sandwiched in. He's dead.
Yeah, but that's Doom down. This is a timing for OG now to try to make some move. I think this is kind of expected for them. They know that they're going to have to bleed some kills to these cooldowns, and then it's all about how do you capitalize on these minutes where Doom is down.
Exactly, because it's also they know for a fact he's teleported top, so you could see Soxa down bottom pulled off the creep wave, and now they see that Savage has TP'd down here, so suddenly perhaps that's a potential place to exploit. Because Tinker is going to play corners. He can be any side lane he wants. And you can see Nota with these wards, he really wants to get a duel off. He knows he's there.
Sneaky ward from Zephyr there, scouts out everything.
No tails coming, he's going to dive away, and is very likely going to die anyway. I don't think he wants to pop Supernova, but at the same time, if he doesn't, he's also feeding away dual damage to No Tail. Mid lane, looks like they managed to catch Soxa. It is going to be another one of those big cooldowns that you were talking about, this time for just 4 position, and a whole bunch of heroes showing as well.
How strong is Tiny, like, in the Medusa matchup?
I think if he's 2 items ahead, he'll be strong no matter what matchup. And I think that's kind of like the way the heroes playing right now. So it looks like he's going to reach that point, I think, if the game continues the way it is now. Yeah. And this is during, you have to keep in mind, this is during daytime. OG's playing daytime right now. And T1's not really finding the kind of fight where they wipe them in exchange for 2 other cooldowns. And I think that's kind of what they're going to have to do here at the mid-tier 1.
Yeah, Carl is going for the Echo Saber still, so one of the initiation tool. I'm very concerned with how in the hell they're going to find this Tinker.
Yeah, I mean, T1's just banking on, like, we're going to outfarm you over time. You guys might win some fights in the early game, but we're just going to try to get as much gold as possible.
They're going to get the Brambles, immediately try and get the silence on a 23 Savage before the Stone Gaze, and they did get it. The Supernova is not going to be enough clearance. They throw out the Ravage as well, clipping some heroes. Sure, they're going to be able to bring back No Tail to his death, but OG, they still have plenty of firepower left with 2 big cooldowns down. They're just going to keep on going. They get the vision. Whitemon is dead, and they can still scout out some more. Thompson's, he could just keep on chasing like this. Good read by Carl. Got hit by a Void, immediately teleported out, knowing that they were out of stuns. Cuckoo, the really big kill. They get Thompson is doomed. They're burning him out right now, but they can't actually keep any heroes on top of him. Is anybody going to be able to get there? Soxa, he's going to die. Traded out for Zephyr, and it looks like Thompson will survive through this doom. It is not enough damage.
That was huge. He had, that was like literally just as it was off cooldown, doom.
Yeah.
Oh, that's, if they get that kill on Thompson, that's enormous. Like, Sumail's not even playing Dota yet. He has 156 CS at 14 minutes.
Yeah.
Shadowblade. That is the fastest one I've seen.
It's very, very fast. And they're about to make this map very, very small for T1. You're going to notice T1 heroes are going to fall closer and closer to their triangle. And that's all that OG's trying to accomplish. And then they're going to try to force fights when they know that they don't have cooldowns or when they feel comfortable with their own items.
And I've played in this sort of game as well, where
Doom's in trouble.
Cuckoo is going to be real quickly bursted down between the combination of this trio. Fast kill, and Thompson can just be anywhere else on the map he wants to. T1, as you said, they don't have a way to catch this Tinker, so he could just constantly be applying pressure. Even if he doesn't kill someone, right? Sending him back to base is still a win.
It's so hard to play Dota when you just don't have playmakers.
Yeah. This is why I would have liked something like Ember or Void, right? So they can fight back in these early engagements, so they don't have to always run away. But they're really banking on, like, you know, we're going to go late. At some point, OG has to reach high ground, and that is very difficult against the heroes that they have. Reaching high ground, I think, is going to be very, very hard. So OG need to keep this pressure up.
Seb dodges the shockwave, otherwise may have been pulled back into RP range. But because of the nighttime vision, the superior vision from Seb, being able to get the occasional rocket damage in.
I actually really like the Vanguard just because, you know, his job, he's a living ward. So he's just running in. Like, he doesn't necessarily need to do damage, just keep vision for his Tinker.
Pops Darkness now, and immediately goes for the silence onto the Tidehunter. Supernova goes down, so Seb immediately knocked back down, slowed down rather, can still fly into the trees, but he's going to be hit by Carl. RP down to low ground. Nice fear going out, but the Ravage is going to be able to catch Seb and stall the rest of OG just a little bit. Not enough for Whitemon to survive. No, he actually doesn't get hit by that tree. 23 Savage, lost most of his mana, but OG just a little bit too spread apart here, didn't focus down one hero.
Yeah, so in exchange for almost all their cooldowns, except for Doom, they get the 1 kill on Night Stalker, and OG has basically everything ready. They use the NS ulti, but it doesn't matter because it's nighttime. So I expect OG now to like tempo up and try to really squeeze them into the triangle.
I'm just gonna stay on enemy jungle. Push him out. Toss.
Yeah, he certainly got him.
Yeah, this is the trouble, because with cooldowns down, suddenly you're afraid. And if you look Dire Vision, if you don't mind putting your observer cap on real fast and tap, you see nothing. And suddenly, duel. Yeah.
Duel. Not that it matters too much for a 5 position, but hey, more duel damage.
Yeah, but like suddenly the lead is 6k, because in these moments, you know, Lucia's not farming anything. Like, you can't play the map safely because Thompson can be everywhere, and Seb is almost permanently off map.
Yeah, and Nota's just moving his hero in positions where the enemy team wants to be. So you see he runs to the triangle, make sure that they're not farming there. They drop some sentries and some wards. Now they are going to keep track of it, and eventually they're going to zone them in, and then they know where they are, and they can just pick them up like this. They know there's no fight back until Ravage and Egg are up. They know they're not going to get contested.
Yeah, the support duo of T1, like that's what they have with those cooldowns. Like without them, like if you look at the Tidehunter, 3 points Kraken Shell. He has 2-point Gush. That is his contribution to a team fight with no Ravage.
Yeah.
And it's just a tough spot for T1. Sumail is enormous. He is Silver Edge with Shard queued up. He's like 2 minutes away. He can't even buy it yet. But that's what's next in his progression. That's how far ahead he is at the moment.
Dire are scanning.
Echo Saber for Seb, and look how deep they're playing.
As you said, tempoing up. The Supernova's going to go down. They're actually going to go for the egg here, and it is going to die. But maybe they can catch some of these heroes where they're right next to the tier 3. Oh, the duel before the skewer. He knows he was going to die either way, most likely. So if he goes into the base, so he might as well duel, draw out some time. and will eventually die, but allows the rest of his team to go wherever they want.
Space created.
That was a lot of space. I think he was hoping that they would throw an RP on him or something.
Yeah. That's a bluff though. You know, like they get the kill, and he's just playing. You know, you've got to figure that they're gonna pay for it at some point. Playing in between tier 2 and 3. Look at the warding that OG's got. Certainly use this nighttime to full effect. The triumvirate of wards to control this area. No triangle available for 23.
Yeah, and once they scout out the triangle, they know that T1's not there. That means they know exactly where they are on the map right now. They know they're playing in that jungle, and they're just getting themselves ready to force the engagement whenever they feel comfortable with the lanes and the positions that they have.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Ags finished on Tinker.
Oh boy.
TPing in to bottom lane. The Night Stalker is cutting the wave behind here. Doom shows up. Doesn't want to doom the Tiny. It looks like the Darkness sees the Tidehunter TPing in as well. Actually cancel that and back up. Looks like they're giving up this tier 2 tower. Between the Darkness damage and the Tiny damage, it'll fall pretty quickly here.
So the only thing T1 really has going here is that they're going to have a very long daytime, and I think they're closing in on finishing items on Carl and 23 Savage to be able to at least take a fight.
Yeah.
So this next team fight is going to be really important. I think the coordination between the Ravages and...
Dude, look at them! Tier 3, that doesn't mean much to them apparently. If they can keep the vision, maybe the Tinker can finish them off with rockets. Not quite good enough. Seb had to back away, and slight heal from the Phoenix is good enough.
Yeah, no. I think the BKB Doom is kind of critical, because you saw there where he was going for a play onto Sumail, but because he didn't get it right off the bat and Sumail was able to reposition, like he just can't make the play anymore. So this at least allows him to potentially rush through OG's heroes. They only have the duel to pierce BKB and potentially just find Thompson, because if you Doom Thompson, just run at him, especially with the War Stomp, I'm fairly certain he just dies. Because then you throw Egg on top, Ravage appears, and things get a lot simpler for you. And yeah, Blink on Carl as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard for him to get past the wall of Sumail. That's kind of like the trick here. You got to get past the Tiny, past the Night Stalker, and right now you do have an opening, because there's no nighttime for a long period of time. Seb used it like right before the nighttime ran out, so it's about a minute here that T1 has to try to find themselves a good team fight. Or they're just going to use the smoke to secure vision. It's also a good way to set yourselves up for a future team fight when you know OG's going to come at you.
If you look at the XP, it's not as brutal as perhaps expected, but you know, Sumail and Thompson 17 and 17. Carl and 23 at 14 and 13 respectively. This gold lead's grown slightly for OG. They can't really get Roche at any point. They do it far too slowly and really just not an objective. Like, you don't want to go force 5-on-5s. You want to keep the map split. As you said though, it is daytime. Darkness was on cooldown, so they're content to just chill for a bit.
I think T1's actually quite happy with this. I think T1 feels like they've survived like the hardest part of the game, and they're now reaching a point where they can actually play Dota.
Yeah.
And while OG's accomplished a lot and they've really been able to slow their farm down, this is going to be the real test. This is the part of their draft that's very hard to pull off. And can they now still beat T1 in fights? Are they strong enough to do it? So they waited up the nighttime, they have the nighttime now, and now they're invading into the jungle.
It's a really good point, because it's impossible for T1 to play Dota for like this entire game thus far. But now BKB very soon on the Doom. You actually have items, and it's finally the time of the game. Maybe you can look to force a team fight. Shard up on both Tiny and LC.
Darkness going to be popped here as they look to be able to finish off Roshan, zoned down by the Brambles as well. They're just keeping these heroes back while Roshan falls. Aegis picked up for Sumail, and T1 very likely just going to have to back away.
That was really nice from Seb and Soxa though. They just cut him off with the choke.
Yeah, they had very nice positioning there, where they were positioned far enough to where their smoke doesn't pop, but close enough to where they see them if they're trying to run down the ramp.
And that was also right before the BKB timing of Cuckoo, which is probably a big reason why T1 was also so hesitant about trying to get to that Roshan pit right away.
And you can see they spam the Night Stalker missing because Darkness is on cooldown and it's daytime. So they know this is a window for them to...
Carl's going to get caught here, and Sumail does a lot of damage. They immediately RP him. Cuckoo, nice spear coming out from Soxa. Catches Cuckoo as he TPs in. One core pickoff turns to two, and add a support into the mix. OG trampling all over T1 now.
How did they catch that?
Sumail, I think it was just running for the creeper, if I'm being honest.
And he just found a hero?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. He tanked the RP. Cuckoo tried to get the Doom off. Did not beat KB. Sox with a great double fear. And then everybody just dies because that's a Tinker. He's just there. Okay. Maybe that's lulled into a false sense of security. It's daytime. You don't expect that to be the move, and there's just 5 OG heroes standing there. And now Tiny gets to hit buildings. And they know there's no RP.
A Tiny that also has the attack speed from No Tail.
So this is really smart. They put the brambles down, and if you watch how Sumail's standing, he's positioning himself in a way where it's hard to blink in to get the skewer back.
Yep. Carl, he had to try and blink around the bramble and skewer through it, and wasn't able to find the opening.
And basically what happens there is, of course, like, he understands that he can't blink into the bramble, so he's going to have to reposition himself. But that gives Sumail more time to see the mag under his vision, come in and like try to position himself correctly, which makes it easy for him to get that toss off, because he sees them running towards him to blink in.
Yeah, it's just so funny watching Sumail play this style. He just tranquil soul ring, shard, spamming.
Yeah, No Tail's feeling himself.
Sumail running a headlong in and is immediately popping the press the attack shard from the Legion commander, easily dealing with any of those stuns. 23 Savage may actually just be dying here. They know he's in trouble. They're going to pop the Supernova. The Ravage too. They barely catch the Tinker, but it's not enough. They can't actually skewer him. That's for certain. They've been feared away. Zephyr, he's going to be dying.
Still couldn't get the auto attack off. The combo was enough. Seth came in for the finish, and now they solar crest him. Like, this is just the thing. Tiny has become a lone druid bear, if not better.
Yeah, stronger at this point. Yes, OG, they don't seem to struggle at all. Like, even though T1 now had the chance to fight back, they just seem to be commanding these teamfights exactly the way they want them to go.
It's too much damage. Like, T1, I think, kind of have to start a fight, but like, very difficult with absolutely no vision.
Yeah.
Because like that engagement began with Sumail just right-clicking with LC buff onto a Doom that still did not use BKB. Well, I don't even know if it would have helped because he just got right-clicked to death.
They're going to need a monster skewer RP combination, and even then, a whole lot of kiting. And I still don't know how they're going to be able to deal with that Tinker. Sumail down to half health, but that'll be easily fixed thanks to No Tail.
Yeah, I feel like the problem here is, like, even if OG decide to back off, which I don't think they are, there's just no way that T1 are breaking out of base. The map is so small for them. They're not getting more items than they have right now, so this is going to be their best opportunity of finding a good fight.
1 more minute left on the Aegis. Sumail is just going to force things here on a second lane of barracks. Missiles forcing T1 back to base, thanks to the, again, the advantage of nighttime vision. They're going to have to smoke just to be able to get close to a good initiation on OG here.
Have they, just to confirm, their chat wheels, they added those emojis manually, right?
Yeah. You can customize that.
Next level.
Bouncing lasers all around. Cuckoo is losing health fast, trying to get away. The BKB still holding on to that Doom and playing around the Supernova. They're going to have to go for a reset again here. They took away the Aegis at least. Topson, okay. Really wanted to be able to get that Cuckoo kill, and he is going to get... not Doom Port. They don't need it.
They're just getting the Mega Creeps, it looks like.
Yeah, they're going to try, but they're immediately going to go back in here. Carl does manage to try and go for the skewer, actually. No Tail defends himself with the press of the attack. Seb playing on the highlights here as he's going to go for the kill onto the Tidehunter, trying to prevent the Ravage that is just now coming up. Skewer over onto Soxa here. Soxa, he still has the RP. They have to be careful of this, but they actually do help Soxa get out. So many brambles, now silence. Carl's in trouble. Sumail is here to finish him off. The Ravage comes just a bit too late. They might be able to finish off Seb. They will, but it's going to be costing them 2 at least. Now they get the duel off, but Sumail, he's just going to keep on swinging on these heroes. They are getting torn apart by 23 Savage and kited around a little bit. Sumail has nowhere to go, so he's just going to commit for the kill on a Cuckoo and continue challenging. 23 Savage is up next. Now the Doom is faded away, so he can throw out the Avalanche, and Jesus, ultra kill. Rampage on the way for Sumail. The king is big and back in play here at TI. Rampage for Sumail. And T1 are not going to call it just quit. They're going to be able to double rampage for him. Give him the triple perhaps. Keep Cuckoo in place here, and T1 are going to call it here. They get the kill on Soxa first. And that is it. Triple Rampage. Sumail finally gets it.
Woo!
OG dominating T1 here in game 1. In what was, I think we all kind of agreed from the get-go, this was questionable drafting decisions by T1. It just seemed very odd, the strategy they came up with. Very passive.
I think it looked good up until the last bans and the last pick. I really expected the Tinker to get banned out, and I'm not really sure what they would have picked instead, but I think just timings didn't line up at all this game.
And if you're not going to ban it, you figure there's an answer to it. It is not a Magnus. Like, maybe the lanes go better, it's a bit easier, but end of the day, like, OG just controlled tempo the entire game. And I hate to see it because T1, like, they 2-0'd VP. This is a very good Dota team. They were third at the Annie Major, and they hamstrung themselves. Like, this is, you know, you put any team in this position at like 15, 20 minutes against OG, nighttime, you're losing towers, Sumail's free farming. There's nothing you can do with these heroes. Like, you just don't see anything on the map.
And sometimes this happens, right, Aiden? Sometimes you just have blind spots in the draft. Maybe they forgot about the Tinker. Maybe they thought they had a better answer to it than it actually was. So.
I could see it being as simple as they just don't think Thompson plays it. Like, Thompson is a player that you kind of think of. He has a very specific hero pool, but, I mean, he's proven, I saw him play DK earlier, that he can play a lot more than he's shown in the past. They probably just didn't think he played Tinker, I would assume.
Well, that's in part what the group stage is for, and just to be able to figure yourself out and also figure out your opponents, get some more information. We're going to get more information on OG and T1 right after this break.
Guys, who was supporting T1?
I didn't need to write it down, but I felt like I was doing them a disservice, so I did add them in towards the back pages here. But it definitely...
You didn't color their logos, didn't you?
Because they're not colored.
Yeah, that's why they criticize you. They're like, oh, you're really phoning it in for your favorite teams, huh?
Because they don't have any color. You've got like a little bit of yellow on Thunder Predator, and then you've got no color on SG. They're a black and white logo. Anyways, I was trying to look up where the Snapfire is going, just to see if there's any sort of trends. And I'm looking at my notebook right now, and I don't have anything. So that was a great time of being criticized by Purge, everybody.
Snapfire is just... it was played a lot in pubs. When I was looking through the pub strats for all the teams that are stats per...
Virtus Pro's turn to pick.
Playing around Doom, right? And that's not, you gotta dig kind of deep to find that.
I thought it was funny.
PL is also good against
Alright, so there is slime, so do not go into the slime immediately.
So
oh
I
god,
see them going for this.
Oh, this got me every time. That gets me every time. Ooh, I just don't know where to go for this. I'm so scared. Okay.